This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Christine Wedge from Alpena County Library. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Nancy. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I know we got to get started because you have so much to talk about today.
We do have a lot of things going on at the library this month. It's really a busy time for us. One of the big things, you know, in November on the 10th, we have our Author in the Fall, Alexander McCall Smith, coming, and that means that this month is just packed with activities around his upcoming visit. I will say that we have sold most of the tickets in the orchestra section. There are still a few left. It's actually kind of neat. We have a woman who called us from Wisconsin and said she's going to fly in to come see him. A whole book club from Cadillac is coming. We get calls a couple times a week from folks in the Detroit area who are coming up. So that's really terrific. We are right now on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 having a little knit and listen session. So if you're a knitter, you can bring your knitting, and we'll listen to the audiobooks of Alexander McCall Smith's sort of best known work, I think, which is the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency.
To get so close, up close and personal with it, such a well-known author is a wonderful opportunity.
It really is a terrific opportunity. The topic of his presentation is the importance of the very small things in life. So I think that sounds a lot like some of the things that he writes about. We also have a movie series which will kick off on the 13th at 2 o'clock, which is a Sunday, with the pilot episode of an HBO miniseries made on the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency. And that's a really neat film. I think people will enjoy it. And the next 2 weekends in October, we'll have films at 2 o'clock as well on Sunday afternoon. We also have some programs about the literature in Africa, or the travel and safaris in Africa, with a bunch of different folks in our community who have traveled. Actually, a bigger group than you might think have traveled to Africa or have some experiences with Kenya and Botswana. The stories that he's written about the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency are set in Botswana.
Right.
So a lot of information about Africa and what it's like to live there and travel and visit there. You can get a whole list of all those events at the library, or you can visit our website at www.alpenalibrary.org.
Okay.
Some really fun and interesting things. Another exciting thing that's happening is October is Books and Brown Bags Month. That's organized this time by Ann Harity and Joe Basto, and they have centered it on local authors. So there'll be a local author every Tuesday at noon to talk about a book in October, and if you want more information on that, that's also on our website. Then this coming Wednesday, the 9th of October, at 7 p.m. we have a public forum because the library's millage is on the ballot this November. And there's a renewal of the current millage, which is 0.75, for a term of 10 years, which has been the term of the library millage for 40 years. It's 10 years every time. And because of declines in property value and penal fines and the elimination of the personal property tax, the board has also put a 0.25 mils increase for a term of just 5 years. Now, people have questions about that. What does it mean? How does it affect me? All those things will be covered at a public forum, open to anybody, sort of a quick presentation and an informal question and answer session on Wednesday. So if people have questions about that, again, they can call us at the library. That number is 356-6188.
And we just ask that you get out and vote and exercise your right to vote.
Exercise your right to vote in this country that we live in, yes. We also have a really neat couple of opportunities. I mentioned that we have a movie on the 13th, Sunday the 13th, but the thing that's going to compete with it is on Sunday the 13th at 2 o'clock, Bob Lingus and the Northeast Michigan Genealogical Society are doing a cemetery tour at Evergreen Cemetery. So if you want to just meet there at 2 o'clock. I know you know Bob, and he is just one of those guys who's got a lot of funny stories and interesting anecdotes. He calls it his famous, not so famous, and infamous tour of Alpena. So I think that'll really be an interesting afternoon, and it's during the same month as Halloween, so
perfect.
Kind of perfect timing there. If it rains, they'll do it the week following, but it's informal, just just turn up at 2 o'clock. It'll leave promptly at 2 o'clock, right at the main gates of the cemetery. Actually, I think maybe at the chapel they're going to start it.
Okay.
So the other thing, though, speaking of Halloween, is we have a Halloween crafts on Saturday the 26th from 10 to 12. And that's for preschool through 5th grade.
Okay.
We'll have crafts, we'll have snacks, we'll do some face painting and play some games. So just kind of a way the weekend before Halloween to get into the spirit of that holiday. And those events are always fun for us.
Okay.
So yeah, still have Tiny Tots for ages 0 to 24 months on Thursdays from 11 to 12, or from 10 to 11 rather. And we're still trying that tech help.
Yes.
4 days a week, an hour each day, 10 o'clock on Mondays, 11 o'clock on Tuesdays, 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, and 4 o'clock on Thursdays. If you are having a piece of technology that's giving you a little bit of trouble, and you have a pretty simple question about it, you can bring it in, and Nancy Musso will try to get you set on the right track.
Okay. We still have some time left. Do you have anything else on there you want to talk about?
Well, I will talk a little bit more about some of the programs for Alexander McCall
Okay.
Smith because they are really terrific. And so right around Halloween on the 30th, we have 2 programs. At noon, Eric Magnus Eubank, the library director, will talk about the literature that's come from Africa.
Okay.
And the tradition there really started out as an oral tradition. So that's an interesting thing to explore, sort of how does an oral tradition morph into a literature tradition,
right.
and what are the types of stories that come from there. Our author, Alexander McCall Smith, is actually Scottish, but he was raised in Africa. And then he returned to Scotland to go to college, and then he went back to Africa and actually wrote the first legal book on the Botswanan legal system. So, you know, the literature and the oral traditions in that country had a big impact on him, and Eric will talk about that. And then that evening, Greg and Lorraine Sundin will talk about their travels in Botswana and Zambia and South Africa. I think they had a child who lived there for a while, and so they've done a fair amount of traveling. And for other travelers, Judy Byer is going to talk about a safari that she took in Kenya and Tanzania. That's on Monday the 4th of November at 7 o'clock, right before he comes on the 10th. And then Matt Dunkel and Wendy Brooks from Alpena Community College will talk about the culture and the geography of Botswana as a country.
Wow,
and that'll be right on the 7th.
You made this an event. He must just be thrilled to pieces for everything you've done.
We're so looking forward to having him. People who have seen him speak say he's really just wonderful.
Okay, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to talking to you next month.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you. I'll be right back with David Usher from Alpena Civic Theater following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Dave Usher from Alpena Civic Theater. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Nancy.
I'm so excited to hear about Church Basement Ladies because I really didn't know much about it.
It's great to be back with you to talk about theater again. It's a big part of my life, and
Yes, it
I
is.
know we entertain a lot of folks in town.
Yes.
Church Basement Ladies at Civic Theater. It's a slice of life. I think everyone can identify with the church setting and the drama, the joy, the heartbreak that goes on, particularly in a basement kitchen.
Yes.
And that is the setting for this show. It's
Wonderful.
one set only. It all takes place in the church basement kitchen. And we have a wonderful cast, a wonderful crew and staff. Julie Myers is directing this show.
Okay.
Assistant director is Scott Edgar, producer Evelyn Hunter, and Bunny Lyons is our music director.
good.
And Becky Sadler, Vicki Van Wagenen working on choreography with us.
Oh, great.
Judy Byer is our stage manager. Her husband Dwayne and Phil Myers are working on the sets. So it's all wonderful. The costumes are with Marilyn Kettler and Virginia Halsey and Diana Standen. So it's top notch. We've got the best of the best working on this, and hopefully the Alpena and Northeast Michigan public will enjoy it as much as we are putting it on.
So tell me who some of the characters are.
Well, to begin with, there's only 5 people in the show.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the only male.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Kathy Klimek is playing the matriarch of the kitchen, and her name is Vivian Snoostad.
Okay.
And Carol Rundell plays the part of Karin Engelson.
Okay.
And she has a daughter named Signe, who is very important in the play as
Okay.
well. And rounding that out then, other than myself, is Donna Roosen.
Perfect.
Donna is playing the part of Mavis Gilmerson, who is in the throes of menopause, delivers most of her lines from the freezer, and she's a farm wife and can do anything, as well, from fixing furnaces to fixing farm equipment.
Okay.
And so there's I suppose, a typical conflict of tradition and new ideas in the church settings, and I think it's something that every individual can identify with. As I mentioned, there's music and dancing, some of the most wonderful music tunes you've ever heard, and these the four ladies are the dominant ones in the play. I just am sort of a backdrop
Okay.
for all
Okay.
these ladies. Their harmonies are amazing. The sketches are hysterical. Of course, there's a few poignant parts in here too. There's a little heartbreak and a lot of joy in the show. And you watch the forces sort of come together and meld, and it's a beautiful thing.
Any songs we're going to recognize?
No.
Okay.
But I believe you'll appreciate them greatly. They tell the story.
Okay.
They tell it's story in song, if you will.
Okay.
And the thing that makes this unique is that it is Norwegian Lutheran. And so it takes place, the four scenes of the play take place during the different experiences of the church. First of all, it begins with the Lutefisk Supper, which is unique to the Lutheran, particularly Norwegian, Scandinavian Lutherans. Different churches have their hobo suppers, or they have their strawberry socials or whatever. For the Norwegian Lutherans, it's the Lutefisk Supper.
Okay.
And the funeral is the second scene. Tragic, yet beautiful. Third scene is the Hawaiian Easter holiday getaway furnace fundraiser.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's real interesting, and it's a lot of fun. And the third is a wedding. So all of the main events that might happen in the church, from fundraising to weddings and funerals and so forth, you see these five characters in action throughout that. And as I say, I think everybody can identify with it, but it's put in such a comical, wonderful way that it makes you embrace all of those experiences and all of the conflicts and all of the fun that occurs.
And you know, those things really do. I know when I think of my church dinners and festivals that I work on, there's this entity, that entity. This is the way it's always been done.
Oh, exactly.
Don't change it from a sit-down dinner to a buffet, because that's not the way we do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't suggest this because that's not how we do it. So it's pretty interesting.
Well, for us, some of the minor conflicts are turning the church hymnals from black to red.
Oh my.
Or guitars in the sanctuary. God forbid, you know.
We had that conversation about sitting in the wrong seat too
Yes,
just recently,
of
because
course.
someone will say, "You're in my seat." Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all of those cliches, all of those well-known things about church you'll find in this, and you'll laugh joyously with it.
So when can we come to see it?
Well, we are running 2 weeks.
Okay.
We open on the 10th of October.
Okay.
And we'll run through the 13th with a
Okay.
Sunday matinee. Now, the evening performances are Thursday, Friday, Saturday at
Okay.
7:30. A Sunday matinee performance at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then again the following week, the 17th through the 20th.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings at 7:30, and a Sunday performance at 2 p.m. The church phone number now, so that I don't complicate matters.
church?
This is the Civic Theater on River Street.
Okay.
And the church phone number is 354-3624.
Okay.
And the box office is open with folks manning the telephones from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
And so important at Alpena Civic Theater that you call and get tickets because it sells out every time, especially a musical.
You bet.
A funny musical,
Yeah.
especially.
That especially. I think just the theme of this is going to draw so many people.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being here. It's so good to see you, and thank you so much for giving back all that wonderful talent to our community.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Nancy. I hope everybody comes and has fun with us.
I'm sure we will. Thank you,
Okay.
David.
You bet. Mhm.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joynton, president of Alpena Community College. My guests this morning, two ACC students, Travis LaCrosse and Zane Ferrentos. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
How about just a little background, how you came to ACC? Let's begin with you, Travis. Did you grow up around here? And
Yes, I did. I went to Manualism School till 8th grade, and then I went to Alpena High, and then I decided to run cross country for my first year ever. And then it worked out great. My senior year, I was MVP of the team, first team all conference, and then I was just going to quit after that. And then Coach Jacobs called me and said, I'm starting a cross country program. Would you like to run? And I said, sure. And been running here for 2 years now.
very good. We'll get into the cross country a little bit more later, but what about academically? Do you have an academic goal and career goal lined up, or still looking?
I do. I am currently in the pre-engineering program at ACC, and I hope to finish that up and get my associates this year and continue my education somewhere else.
That's
hopefully
good.
Michigan.
University of Michigan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a good number of transfers from ACC to University of Michigan, other great engineering schools, Michigan Tech, MSU. So the path is well blazed for you, and I hope you get to where you want to.
Thank you.
How about you, Zane? What about your background? How you came to ACC?
Started out running cross country in junior high, and wasn't the best runner, wasn't the fastest. In fact, I was the slowest runner on our team.
Was this here in Alpena?
Yep, right at Thunder Bay, and I was really just doing it so I could stay in shape for basketball. And eventually, basketball kind of faded out, and cross country kind of faded in more, and didn't really put much effort into it though until around end of my 10th grade season. I said, I'm done being bad at this. I don't really like being bad, so I'm gonna be good, I think. And I told somebody that, and they're like, no, you're not. And I couldn't take that. I had to tell them. I had to show them that I was gonna be good. So
You were kind of fooling around with it a little bit, but then you got serious.
then I got serious, and so then junior and senior year, I won the coaches award for the cross country teams at AHS here. Put a lot of effort into it, put a lot of time, started to really love running. Then the freshman year of my college came around, and I decided I wanted to go to Lake Superior State University, and wasn't huge into that, kind of had some major changes, wasn't sure what I wanted to do anymore, so I decided to come home, and I told Coach Jacobs I want to run, and now here I am.
That's great. That's great. What about academically? Do you have a degree goal, a major?
Yeah, I would like to end up with a PhD in psychology.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you want to figure out what makes people tick, huh? Good
Yeah,
luck.
that's really interesting to me. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great aspiration. Thanks to both of you for coming to ACC. Let's flip over to cross country a little bit more intensively. What is the definition of cross country?
Well, I think it's different for different people. For me, it's just running on different terrains as hard as you can. Some races, it's not all about your best time. So it's about how your strategy of running. There's like hilly courses. You don't want to burn out in the first couple miles, and you're going to be worn for the rest. So you just want to.
Now, I think a track team would be involved in shorter races and cross country longer. Is that the general idea?
Yeah, we run 8Ks for cross country,
Okay.
which equals about just barely under 5 miles.
Is that some kind of minimum distance for cross country, and it can go on?
It's just the college,
standard.
college
Okay.
standard for cross country. In high school, it's a 5K, which is 3 and an eighth miles.
So there's a
Yeah.
standard length for both high school and college.
Yep.
What about the best strategies for running? You're in the middle of the race. Maybe you realize you need to pour on the steam. How do you deal with those difficult moments in a tough race?
It's all mental. You got to just stay strong right up here, and
Yeah.
if you can do that, your legs will work fine.
So that's maybe a connection to your PhD aspiration in psychology.
Could be something
Yeah.
like that. Coach Jacobs always tells us to work on our form when we're getting tired. Form's the most important thing, and actually Travis and I were running yesterday, and it wasn't one of our better runs, but we just kept focusing on form, getting that down.
Now, form would be how you pick up your legs and your stride and your arm swing and
Everything.
Yep. Your eyes, where they are,
yeah.
your arms, how they swing, what direction they swing.
That's interesting. I have great admiration for Coach Jacobs. What are the things that make a coach really, really good, as I perceive him to be?
Well, I was here last year when the program started, and we ended up 9th out of 12 teams. And this year, we are currently ranked around 4th or 5th. We want to get to 3rd by regionals. I think that's a sign of a great coach. He can recruit good people and great quality of people, and get us to where we need to be, training-wise and practice-wise. And
That's a good statement. How about you, Zane?
He's a great coach, the best I've had so far in my life, and the thing that really sets him aside from other coaches is he isn't focused on just the talent of a runner, but more what that runner has inside of them, how much heart that runner has. He doesn't want some really talented athlete that's going to come here and goof around and ruin the chemistry of the team. He wants someone that's going to, someone that's going to show all their heart, give it all they got every race. And
So focus on improvement and also
Right.
looking within. Kind of back to the subject of psychology. What's in the mentality and the attitude and
Exactly.
the will and the resolve to bringing out the best in people. That's great. Any particular instructors at ACC that have really worked with you well? Let me pitch that question to you, Travis.
Last year, I had chemistry, and Mr. Sumricks was my
Yes,
teacher.
he's a great guy.
He's a great teacher.
Yeah.
I struggled a little bit at first,
Yeah.
but he got me focused and to where I needed to go, and now
That's good.
I've got Mr. Gouge on and stuff. He's a great teacher too.
Yeah, he is. As we wrap up, Zane, how about you, an instructor?
I've got Mr. Sumricks as well right now, and
Okay.
he's working with us. We have a son, Andrew, on the team, and we're all good friends.
That's great.
Mr. Kelly also understood that I had to get out of class a few minutes early today to be here. So
Great. Well, that's terrific. Thank you, gentlemen, for appearing on the show, and best of luck to you with both your athletic and academic pursuits.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.